29th of December 2024, and the last time I will speak to you this year. I hope that you all had a peaceful Christmas time if you celebrate that, and that you are otherwise in good health and doing all right. I received a letter with an order for the reality check discs last month, and I had wanted to share this with you last month, but I didn't get around to it. So they said they didn't want to order without sending some sort of a letter, and hopefully it would spark some new ideas. He wrote, the first matter of discussion relates to the social degradation of society, how we interact with each other. I have taken particular notice that it is increasingly difficult to connect with others. One reason I believe has to do with the increased variety of media. For instance, when I was young, there were only 5 television channels and everyone watched primarily the same shows. Even when cable came in and there were 36 channels, society was still able to connect around their favorite programs. Then suddenly there were over 200 channels and social media and Netflix, and people were cutting cable and Hulu and Disney Plus and HBO Max, etc. With all of the choices, it's very difficult to have that water cooler conversation about TV programs that took place prior to the 2000s. And there's something else I have noticed about our social degradation. We are all too aware of the online censorship taking place by the corporations directed by our politicians, but what I find even more depressing is that individuals are all too willing to do the censoring themselves. If they don't like what you say, they will immediately block you. Most recently, I learned that 4 channels I like and follow on YouTube discreetly censored me from the comments section. And this came to my attention one night as I was on a YouTube live chat. I was able to leave comments, but nobody was responding. And then I looked at the live broadcast on Roku and noticed that my comments were completely hidden. It's a bizarre but effective tool of censorship. No warnings are given, and you're still able to make comments, but without your knowledge, you're speaking to nobody. Nobody can see your comments. Unfortunately, much of the populace has effectively been trained to embrace and conduct the censorship themselves. Some of these channel owners decry censorship and safe spaces, but given the chance, they create their own. This leads into my final matter of discussion, which is AI. I have recently been using the Microsoft Copilot AI.
Atlantis, Edda und die Bibel. 200.000 Jahre germanischer Weltkultur und das Geheimnis der Heiligen Schrift. Von Hermann Wieland, dritte gänzlich ungearbeitete Deutscher Verlag Weißenburg in Bayern. Yeah. There's nothing else going on in the world that warrants this much press attention, so, yeah, I mean, let's do it. Come on. Yeah, the place is chock a block with zombies all foaming at the mouth. Chomping at the bit to get a glimpse of the world, like, maybe. Yeah, yeah, my marriage is in a shambles. My career's going down the toilet and I'm crippled with debt, but this royal baby's given me a newfound sense of hope and wonder. Yeah. Well, the baby weighed in at a little over 8 pounds, about 15 in US dollars. The biggest thing fact I learned today was if he was born a US citizen, he'd inherit 3,000 in debt. Really?
It's like a ride at an amusement park, and when you choose to go on it, you think it's real, because that's how powerful our minds are. And the ride goes up and down and round and round. It has thrills and chills, and it's very brightly colored, and it's very loud. And it's fun for a while. Some people have been on the ride for a long time, and they begin to question, is this real, or is this just a ride? And other people have remembered, and they come back to us, and they say, hey, don't worry, don't be afraid, ever, because this is merely energy condensed to a slow vibration, that we are all one consciousness experiencing itself subjectively. There is no such thing as death. Life is only a dream. We are the imagination of ourselves. On with the weather.
Everything we think affects the entire universe. What happens to the one happens to the all.
As you no doubt have guessed, I am Morpheus. The honor is please. No, I imagine that right now you're feeling a bit like Alice, tumbling down the rabbit hole. Say that. I can see it in your eyes. You have the look of a man who accepts what he sees because he is expecting to wake up. Far from the truth. Do you believe in fate? No. Why not? I don't like the idea that I'm not to control my life. Exactly what you. Let me tell you why you're here. You're here because you know something. What you know you can't explain, but you feel it. You felt it your entire life. That there's something wrong in the world. You don't know what it is, but it's there, like a splinter in your mind. Try. It's the speed. You are a slave, and like everyone else, you were born into bondage, born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch. A prison for you. Unfortunately, no one can be told what the Matrix is. You have to see it for yourself. This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Because a lot of these people are just ignorant poor people. You know, they're just poor people. I'm not a Joe Schmo 9 to 5 worker bee, and these people are just poor dummies. You know, what can you do? I make more money than rappers. You might have bumbled the Barnabas text or the Sinai text or whatever. It doesn't really matter. What matters is I never got a chance to answer any questions or get my voice heard.
So this guy's name is Billy Carson, and he just destroyed his career in the most unbelievable way. This is the full saga of what happened to Billy Carson. Billy is one of the smartest people on this planet, according to him.
Guess what, guys? I'm one of the foremost world leader in the knowledge on ancient texts and tablet scriptures, papyruses, and cylinders.
He's the founder and CEO of the media company Forbidden Knowledge, Inc., which produces educational content on topics like ancient wisdom, spirituality, personal development, and esoteric knowledge. Billy, similar to his friend Terrence Howard, has built up a reputation for himself as a genius with secret knowledge nobody else knows.
Well, the conventional explanation is always going to the term mythology. They throw mythology around, left and right to cover up the fact that they have no clue or idea. So they turn it into mythology. So if people were supposed to be trying to worry about how they're going to get their next meal, shelter for the night, and all these kind of things, who has time to sit down and write these incredible works of art like the Epic of Gilgamesh, for example? I was able to take stone tablets and decipher them myself.
But there are some people who have their doubts about Billy's genius.
So who is this Billy Carson? Much like Terry, he spews ridiculously transparent falsehoods in podcasts and in the crappy books he writes. He just doesn't have the Hollywood resume that Terry does. Instead of starring in movies, he makes YouTube videos that are a mixture of ancient aliens-style archaeological revisionist fantasies.
And then the debate happened.
And he even went so far as to say that he's going to sue the host of the podcast for $1 million and possibly even more.
In my personal opinion, the conversation did not go well for Billy.
Billy recently agreed to a debate with a guy named Wes Huff, a Christian biblical scholar and apologist.
Well, Billy's trying to sue me, and he's trying to sue me because I got him on a podcast with a real historian who debunked all his BS in terms of Christianity.
And the debate was such a train wreck for Billy that he's desperately trying to stop people from seeing it, which, if you know anything about the Streisand effect, is not working.
And because you got exposed for knowing nothing about Christianity, you freaked out. You freaked out so much that you were knocking at my client's door at 2:30 a.m. in the morning.
Now I got to handle that situation.
Legal papers, acting like you have the power to enforce some type of U.S.
In the wake of the interview, Billy Carson has asked that the recording not be released.
But we'll talk more about Billy's unhinged response later. For now, let's summarize what happened during this debate. Billy presented 4 of his most famous arguments to Wes, and Wes proceeded to completely and utterly dismantle each one. Billy loves making a very interesting argument about what he calls the Sinai Bible.
And in my videos, and if you listen to the podcast, the statement is according to the Sinai Bible, okay? According to the Sinai Bible, Jesus wasn't crucified in that Bible. That Bible predates the King James Version of the Bible. And the text there actually is about 12 to 14,000 differences between the Sinai Bible and the King James Version of the Bible, which came much later.
Now, if you don't know anything at all about biblical manuscript, you might think that what Billy said here makes some sense. You mean there's an earlier version of the Bible where Jesus was not crucified? That's crazy. Except there's just one problem. Every single thing Billy just said there is completely false, as Wes demonstrates to Billy.
Well, when you say the Sinai Bible, what are you referring to specifically?
It's the biblical text that was written, that made it into you can actually look it up on Amazon. It's a Bible called, I have a version at home. It's called the Sinai Bible, right, from Mount Sinai. I'm assuming that's the mountain that they're referencing there. But they put together their own version of the biblical text prior to the King James Version being put out.
Sure. So when you refer to the Sinai Bible, would you be referring to Codex Sinaiticus, like the codex that comes? Okay.
No, I actually did go and do exactly what Billy said. I went to Amazon and looked up Sinai Bible. And do you know what I found? No results for any Sinai Bible, but results for Codex Sinaiticus. So why is Billy calling Codex Sinaiticus the Sinai Bible? Could it be because he's just completely pretending he has some secret knowledge about the Bible, and he's just hoping nobody knows enough to actually call him out on this? Well, just take a look.
So I work with manuscripts in my linguistic work. I'm an expert on early Christian scribal culture, and particularly in Greek and Coptic manuscripts. I have a facsimile, so I have a photocopy that was done by the British Library of Codex Sinaiticus that I work with in my office. So I have it here, and the Codex Sinaiticus in particular is just a Greek. It's a 4th century Greek manuscript. It comes from approximately between 325 and 350 AD, and its text of the Gospels reads almost identical to the modern Greek text that we develop translations from. When you say that it denies the crucifixion or that the crucifixion isn't there, I mean, I can go on right now, Codex Sinaiticus, and I can look up the end of, say, Matthew 27, where it has Jesus being crucified, and that's in Codex Sinaiticus, or, the John 19, or any of the other ones. So actually, are you able to pull up a website with the...
Let's see if this works, Chewie. Back to Lady Babylon. This is the special 0.5 Mbps edition. We are gonna try to bring you tonight the most missile material that we've got. Tonight we are opening the apocalypse. Tonight I'm gonna take you. You know what? I've got to get my whip right off the bat. Alright, because tonight the instruction is going to be thick. You're gonna see things that have not been seen before. And so I need you to be focused. I need us to go in there. We're gonna hit this place. Where are we going? Where are we going on? By the way, it's good to see you. I'm sorry, I don't mean to jump on the horse right away like that, but as long as Falcon can take off, I'm going to try to do this. Minimize me, Chewie. Fantastic. Hopefully with this we can limit our exposure. Hail Satan. What have I got for you tonight? Bring up the very first bit. What have I got for you tonight? I've got for you a voice from antiquity. And this voice is telling you to pick up the guitar. Pick up the guitar. Why is it? Because in the fulfillment of this prophecy tonight, I am going to show you, as this says, those who possess the guitars of God. Those who possess the guitars of God. Tata, do you understand me? Tata, guitar. Those who possess these instruments, and those instruments belong to the God of music. You thought in your lifetime, if you're like me, you thought
An instrument, just an organo. That's a great word, right? It's just a device. It's just a device. No, you are a device. You are a device. Isn't that gorgeous? I want to take you back to the place where we bring the apocalypse with the guitars. The guitars of God. Now you're going to ask me, where did you get that tidbit that you just flashed up into my greenery there, tickly tickly? And I'm going to tell you it's from the Bible. It's from the Bible. So if you haven't studied, minimize me, Chewy. We've got to run this way. I don't want to be bigger than that postage stamp. Hail Satan. Right? Fantastic. Now, um, where do we have to go first? People have been asking me, what about Greek? What about her ancient Greek? What about ancient Greek makes her so special? Makes her so special. And I want to address tonight specifically priests of Apollo and all of the worshippers of music. I want to show you exactly what the voice of those who came before you, what that is telling you right now at this point in history. I am bringing you text. None of this is my opinion. I will not give you any of my ideas. I do not want to sell you anything. I do not want anything from you. This is portal opening. What I'm doing is I'm bringing you back the voices of those dead guitarists, the people who created everything for us. You thought your science was the creation of nerds, didn't you? Nerd scientists, lab coats. No, it was musicians. The basis of the quantum universe is not mathematics. It's not. No, it's music. Music. Are you ready? Are you ready? We've got to shift our operating system. This is what I tell my students. I said, you coming to this Greek from an inferior operating system, it is going to do things that you cannot do. So you're going to have to get ready. It's going to make you uncomfortable. But I'm going to use this lubricant. What's the lubricant that helps us slide in ever so more comfortably? It's Mother Greek, baby. It's that language. Oh, God. People talk about it. They don't know what they're talking about. They don't know how bad. You know, I'm always putting down bog trotting English tonight. I'm going to show you where I get that. You know where I get that from? From people who study ancient Greek. Yes. 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 Oh God, give me that first. Chewie, give me this. Look, make love to Mother Greek tonight. I mean, tonight, people, I want you to. In order for us to get to the guitars of the apocalypse, because that's what I'm showing you tonight. This show should have been titled "Guitars of the Apocalypse." Guitars of the Apocalypse. Let's open it up with Lucretius. Do you know what Lucretius tells us about besides the well of Amun? Do you know what he tells us about? He tells us, look, we cannot rise to the Greek with all the varied meanings of its vocabulary. He says the Latin just doesn't do this. It has a poverty. Egestatum linguae. Right, listen to the Roman. Egestatum linguae. When he's looking at Mother Greek, looking at him, sexy Mother Ancient Greek, looking at him right in the eyes, what does he do? Right, he gets all trembly, talks about how he's full of emptiness, poverty. The poverty of the Latin language can't stand up to Mother Greek. Do you realize what we're doing? I want you to think for a minute. Babylon, I'm about to show you an artist diagnosing a system and weaving in the music. I'm about to show it to you. Oh, God. Oh, it's so sexy and brainy. Such an attraction, right? Oh, to that sexy, brainy lady Oppenheimer. Isn't it gorgeous? That immortal one. Right? Do you understand? Your physics. It's music. It's music. Fantastic. Okay? For dummies like me. Give me the next one. I just want to give you, oh, I forgot we have a little bit of, okay, I'm just gonna slow down a little bit. I just gotta slow down. And tonight we're gonna be looking at, here's another spot. I just couldn't help this. I wanted you to see Lucretius talking more. Who is Lucretius, by the way? He's writing about natural science. And he's really a philosopher, a naturalist, right? And he's trying to get us all down to the levels of the base. How can we figure out this universe and all its components? Well, he says, look, we have to use these tough Greek words, right? And he knows that the Latin just doesn't, it's not able to stand up, right? There is something peculiar and special. And Lucretius, Lucretius is as Roman as they get, bro. Right? Genius. Just like genius Roman. He loved by the way, I know people say that there's no such thing as recreational drugs, right? In the ancient world. But his particular recreational drug was the absinthe, the wormwood. And he very famously um, took himself to a place of fuck, let's just say, through his indulgence. So that was it's part of the inspiration. So people are always surprised. You mean these thoughts can come from people who are under the influence of serious drugs? Yeah, look at her. She looks pretty innocent, doesn't she? Yeah, she's about to put something somewhere inside of you, and it's gonna do things to you. Right? This is, hey, people, welcome. Welcome to the ancient cult medicine. Right? Don't you want salvation? You didn't know salvation was a medical term, did you? Did you? Watch this, people. Shall we just flex Lady Greek's gorgeous glutes? She has gorgeous glutes, you know what I mean? Greek has an extraordinary number of I'm already turned on, you know what I mean? Of sentence adverbs or particles in the narrow sense. Thank you, Melvin. People, what are we talking about? This is a dude, a classical philologist who's
like viewers or listeners or whatever be able to see that?
Right, and to make sure I
What-
have the right
what-
visual version that I'm.
So basically, the thing that Billy says this Sinai Bible teaches, that thing about Jesus not being crucified, is a complete lie. Because Codex Sinaiticus very clearly teaches that Jesus was crucified. I mean, the crazy thing is that what Billy is arguing here has absolutely zero, literally zero, basis in reality. And Billy tries to dig himself out of this hole by suggesting that maybe there's another version. But there is no other version. There's just one Codex Sinaiticus. But it gets worse. Billy then goes on to say, oh, maybe it wasn't the Sinai Bible that teaches the thing I said the Sinai Bible teaches. What I meant was the book of Barnabas.
I found the text where I was referencing, actually, it was misquoted. I misquoted there. It's the Gospel of Barnabas.
Except the problem is that Billy didn't actually misspeak, because on a podcast with Andrew Schultz, Billy said the exact same thing about the Sinai Bible teaching that.
I'll give you one big translation that's off is they say, well, Jesus was crucified. Whoa. Well, that doesn't exist in the Sinai Bible.
What happened?
It doesn't exist in the book of Barnabas.
So did Billy actually misquote something, or is he maybe just completely lying? But what about the book of Barnabas? Is Billy at least right about that? Let's take a look.
The Gospel of Barnabas is a really interesting document because it is a known forgery. It shows no actual indication of evidence of coming from or even having knowledge of first century Jewish understanding. And I think a bigger problem is that the Gospel of Barnabas actually paraphrases Dante's Inferno. Never mind the fact that we don't have any evidence of it prior to the 14th century and none in any other language other than Middle Age Italian Italian and Spanish. It's a known forgery. I mean, no one's referring to the Gospel of Barnabas as anything other than.
If you say it's not forgery and expert, I'm going to go with that. Let's talk about the Old Testament a little bit.
What? Billy said, if you say it's a known forgery and you're an expert, I'm going to go with that. I thought Billy was supposed to be the foremost world leader on this topic.
Guess what, guys? I'm one of the foremost world leader in the knowledge on ancient texts and tablet scripture comparisons and cylinders.
So to summarize, so far Billy has completely conceded, one, that the so-called Sinai Bible doesn't teach what he says it teaches, and two, the Gospel of Barnabas, which Billy cites as his source, is